Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready to meet your teams? Oh, absolutely. I need you to go crazy for all four of these gentlemen, the men's championship match right now. And this first team, an absolutely incredible and athletic team to watch. So much fun together. They've got a bright future together. And first, for the youngster, ladies and gentlemen, blocker, an absolute beast, one of my favorite personalities on the AVP tour. He's looking for win number 1, and it can be done right here at the Manhattan Beach Open. Trevor, this is your time. It is Trevor Crabb. And his partner, one of the living legends of beach volleyball, ladies and gentlemen, the son of Jarrell. He does ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous things on the volleyball. We've been watching him for so long. He's got his Raiders with him today. Ladies and gentlemen, let me hear Superman, Sean Rosenthal. And their opponents. Oh my gosh, this entire tournament, they have just been absolutely rolling, ladies and gentlemen. They had to fight for it in the semifinal, but they are back, they are rested, and they are ready to put on a show for you. This first guy out of Davie, Florida, the Seminole out of Florida State University. I need to see everybody's hands up right now for Nicholas, the Quickless Lucena. Yes, and his partner. Give it to somebody who wants it, Nick. Out of Baden, Switzerland, and now right here in Manhattan Beach, California. And he is ready to get yet another plaque on the Manhattan Beach here. Ladies and gentlemen, loud and proud, the loudest we've been all weekend long, for Philip the Beast Dalhausser.
There you have it. You heard it from the man, Mark Sherman. Introductions are set, and we are all set to go for the final. Rich Lamborn joining me. I'm Triborn. Rich, you pumped up for this?
I'm fired up. I'm a little torn in the sense that Phil and Nick took out my guys, Theo and Casey, in the semifinal, but they certainly earned their way here, and I'm pumped for this final.
And I know you got some good insight on the team since you were just coaching against them.
Yeah, avoid Phil at all costs. That's my insight.
Tends to be a strategy there. Here we go, we're off. Starting off short to Trevor Crabb. Okay, so that's Phil Dalhausser.
I thought there was Dominique Wilkins there for a second with the double clutch throwback.
No, I just want to remind you, it's Phil Dalhausser, AKA White Kevin Durant.
This is a strategy that Nick and Phil employ a lot. They did it against my guys in the semifinal, serving short to kind of take away the long run-up from whoever they're playing, and we can see that working quite effectively early on here.
Definitely. I think the strategy is take the approach away from a guy like Trevor Crabb here and make him go straight up with Phil Dalhausser, one of the biggest players. Smart play by Trevor to make the block move, but he's dug up here in transition. Rosie gets the dig.
Blocks by Phil, a dig by Nick, and it's 3-0.
3-0. Quick start for the favorites here. Nick and Phil.
Trevor is extremely good running around to the right side. That's an aspect that he's really added to his game over the last couple months, I think. But Phil and Nick really kind of grooving him in.
Oh, that's not going to work.
And a double contact is the call.
Open hand dig there by Trevor
start
Crabb. I think
Phil
he
and
knows
Nick.
he couldn't take it with his hands, but he thought he could get it to come out clean. Not
Right.
able to. 4-0, really tough start here for the 4 seed of the tournament, playing against the 3 seed in Phil Dalhausser and Nick Lucena. So when you play Phil in the finals and big matches, he tends to get up a few inches higher than he was the rounds before. What's the strategy here you employ when you see Phil taking it to another level here?
They've got to figure something out, whether that's passing that short serve up to Rosie so he can go on 2. We've seen him try and run around the back. He kind of goes a little further off the net that time and out of the middle to change up the angle of approach, and had some success, kind of their first success thus far in this match.
You can't play into their game. When they send you in short, they want you to approach right in front of there, right where Phil's already set up. Got to keep moving around. Good change by Trevor Crabb. This one's at Nick Lucena. He's going to try to squeak it down the line, but Crabb's on it. They get another shot, and Lucena buries it in the net.
Yeah, this game of beach volleyball is kind of an ongoing cat and mouse of trying to get your opponent out of system, out of their comfort zone, right? And then your opponent's constantly trying to do that to you as well, right? So far, Phil and Nick have the advantage in doing that early on in this final. But Trevor and Rosie with a little life here.
Here we go, going at the thin beast, Phil Dalhausser. It's a touch off the block, and Trevor and Rosie put it away. I love that idea. Just go at Phil. Be like, listen, you're playing well early, but I don't want you to get too much confidence in yourself. We ain't scared of you.
When your nickname is Superman and you have the S emblazoned on your shorts, you're never out of a match, and you're never scared of anybody that's across the net from you. And Rosie showing us that here early.
Especially a guy you used to play with,
right?
Like Phil Dalhausser. Usually you needed about 10 or 15 feet off the net for it to be safe to drop on Phil, but Trevor goes for it when it's about 5 feet off.
Yeah, I like to
less.
think, you know, Phil's jump serve is hard enough when he's jumping from behind the service line. So anything inside that, you probably want to stay at the net.
Wow. Some good heckles coming from Rosie's Raiders.
There's a nice example of Trevor going around to the right side with effectiveness.
Love that. You know, you get blocked a few times going high. It kind of makes you want to not go low on Phil Dalhausser, but got to trust your game, and you love Trevor going and challenging those low angles here on Phil.
I was having this conversation a little earlier after the semifinal with somebody about sort of the Phil factor, if we want to call it that. Even if he's not blocking the ball, as we've seen him do in this match already, he's affecting your shots because you're at the very least thinking about where his block is, right? There's another nice example of what we talked about early, Trevor popping that ball up for Rosie to go on 2, and Rosie just feasting.
These are really easy balls to pass. They're hard to get a good transition out of with a big block, but why not give your partner an option there?
How fun is it to watch Rosie just pike midair, tuck those knees in and fly?
He's one of the most entertaining of all time. Nice, easy, deep angle shot from Nick Lucena, taking what the defense gives him. I was talking to Trevor Crabb and his coach a little bit before the match, and just trying to see what his approach is going to this match. And they said they're not gonna try to over strategize. Just go out there and ball, because their coach said we don't have to beat this team every day. We just got to beat them today. And that's true.
We'll switch sides, back and forth we go.
Nice to see Trevor settling into a rhythm here. Excuse me. We switch sides again. They brought it back to within 2 here.
Love the jams coming in by DJ Roche.
How great would it be for Trevor Crabb to get his first win in his career at Manhattan Beach and get his name on the pier for
It would be
time and eternity.
unbelievable for Trevor Crabb and terrible for everyone else because you'd never hear the end of it.
That's the Hawaiian insight right there, right?
Exactly. I know him way too well. And we will all never stop hearing it from Trevor Crabb. I mean, there's a hashtag put out there right now. I'll tell you after this one. Nice.
Beautiful turn down the line, Trevor Crabb.
Slick shot down the line, crossbody. Love him challenging the block, but what I was saying earlier is watch this great swing, crossbody, not scared of the block. A few players were saying the hashtag never Trevor, trying to put a curse on him like he'll never get his first win because 2 other Hawaiians have already won this year, but he's trying to shut him up real quick here. That one goes out. Nick looks like he's looking for hands. Trevor Crabb there doesn't get the touch. And we are within a 1-point game right here.
Yeah, if you're Trevor and your younger brother already has 2 AVP wins under his belt, basically the only way for you to shut him up is for your first win to involve having a plaque placed on the Manhattan Beach Pier to signify that win.
Yeah, this might do it. Oh.
Just ripping away off the block, Nick Lucena.
Almost thought I was going to see another Sports Center top 10 play there by Rosie, but still early in the match.
The ability to change directions on a dime from Sean Rosenthal is unbelievable.
Such an athlete.
I suppose when you have 2 redwood oaks attached to the lower half of your body, makes it easier to move in that surface.
Bill Dalhausser serving out of the middle. Trevor Crabb going back. Nice, smooth shot down the line. Looking calm and confident. Watch how much ground Phil has to cover there. And then he ends up trying to go back to the angle. Trevor sees the court, puts it down quick before Nick can get there. Trevor doubling up. Rosie and Trevor both went with the angle. It worked perfectly, but he got tooled just out of bounds. You'd like to see his shoulders opening up, maybe a little more discipline on the staying square to the net, and Trevor gets that. Phil is ridiculous when he reaches high. Go!
And go ahead, kid.
Oh, boy. Rosie.
Nothing could define a hip pocket dig better than this right here. Just right in the hip pocket.
God. And then twice you see Phil going high to swat the high line. Rosie says, I got you, kid. I'll put it over him.
I just get excited when I see Rosie transitioning on the left side. That's his side that he played for so many years. He's more comfortable over there on the right with his partner, Trevor Crabb, this season. But, man, is he exciting all the way around.
He played a lot on the left with Phil Dalhausser, and then they kind of had to go back and forth to figure out which side was best for them. But for the most part, I want to say Rosie played on the left in that partnership until they broke up just before the Olympics.
Yeah, I think they did a year of each,
okay,
at the very least. Yeah, they started with Phil on the right, and then I think they decided that having the on-2 option with Phil was something that you can't go away from.
Right.
So they switched back, and that kind of opened up Rosie's game on the right side a little bit.
And made him very capable of picking up a partner like Trevor Crabb after Sean Rosenthal. I mean, sorry, after Phil Dalhausser.
Monica and Stephanie.
Around the backside from either the left or the right side is becoming more a part of the game today in today's game, don't you think?
Yeah.
So players need to have proficiency from either side, as getting away from blocks, especially as talented as Phil Dalhausser's block, as Tri-Born's block, is something that players have to do in order to maintain that advantage over the defense.
Yeah, I mean, you're kind of playing into the blockers' game if you come right at them. And nowadays, the blockers are getting bigger and bigger and more physical. The court's not getting any bigger. In fact, the court's smaller than it used to be back in the 90s. So, yeah, absolutely. You have to move it around, different tempos, different placements, and the game's just advancing more and more. You'll see more options on two, and the game's fun to watch. It's highly technical these days.
We've kind of seen that perfectly exemplified here in the first half of this first set, right? When Trevor got served short and just backed up and came straight back in at Phil, he got double hand swatted a couple times as he's opened up by going around to the right side, coming out of the middle, going on two to his partner. They've been able to almost level this match, just down the advantage here.
Gotta love it. And these guys, like I said, they're not trying to overthink it. They're just gonna go out there and ball, play their game. That's their strategy. And it seems to be working well. Rosie's feeling it. Trevor's delivering.
On cue, on cue.
It's one thing to dig a hard-driven ball like that, but to control it right back to exactly where your partner wants it is a whole nother.
Did you see the amount of ground he covered in just one lateral hop right there? I mean, the kid is ridiculous at 37 years old.
Ace, right up the middle. The local boy, born and raised in Hermosa Beach. Sean Rosenthal is back in the finals after 2 weeks ago being in the finals in Hermosa Beach, keeping his Rosie's Raiders, his heckling peanut gallery, keeping them busy.
You hate to end your own scoring runs with missed serves, but like you've mentioned a couple times now, their strategy is just go out and ball. So I think that kind of plays into their approach to this match.
They did mention that in pre-games, that they were going to go for their serves against this team, and I think that's a good strategy. So smooth, Trevor Crabb getting swatted twice, 2 or 3, maybe even 4 times this match. Goes right back to it. It's all about timing. If you telegraph it and Phil sees it, he can go an extra foot higher. You come in strong like that, set him up.
Did he learn that shot from Hawaiian legend Stein Metzger?
I don't know if I can give Stein credit for that. I know Trevor wouldn't, but we did watch him growing up, so I'm sure at least subconsciously he learned it.
Trevor and Rosie now with a 2-point lead.
Phil up on 2.
That shot too good from Phil, but I really like that move from Trevor, seeing it early and backing off to try and play some defense.
He's definitely capable of digging a ball like that. That was just really good placement by Phil. Nick Lucena at the net against Rosie. And he blocks him, but Trevor covers, and they put it away. Wow. Some unbelievable volleyball. A few words exchanged on the crossover by Rosie and Nick. Rosie does not want to get blocked by Nick. And Trevor just saved him there with that one-handed cover. Sean Rosenthal, time and time again, the crowd pleaser.
The funny thing to me about that exchange of words between Nick and Rosie on the changeover is, as abrasive as the Raiders are, that's how cool and how well-liked Sean Rosenthal is.
Trevor Crabb with the stuff.
16-13.
And as much as Sean Rosenthal is absolutely loved and adored by everyone in the volleyball community, Trevor Crabb's kind of taking his role as a little villain here, running his mouth in the semifinals, getting in the head of Reed Pretty a little bit, or at least oh Lord, what another great rally. what I was alluding to there is a little exchange that went down in the semifinals between Trevor Crabb and Reed Pretty. They ended up going back and forth. Trevor's always running his mouth a little bit, and Reed was taking it personally. Had some words for Trevor after the game. They were kind of chest to chest going at it. Trevor, he never turns it off ever, and Reed Pretty didn't like it.
It is a bit unusual to be, I don't know, such a historically good player as Reed is and has been in the indoor arena, and have maybe none of that respect from Trevor Crabb's point of view carry over into his sand game.
There's an ace up the middle by Phil. Great location there. Yeah, I mean, Trevor's not going to give you this respect that you may want, and that's got to be hard to swallow from someone like Reed Pretty.
Sure.
But it is a different sport, and Reed knows it's a tough path ahead of him. There's another ace. That one pretty lucky, trickling off the tape as Dalhausser, Lucena tie it up. Really unfortunate little run there. 2 points off the board off Phil Dalhausser's serve, and neither serve was really that tough to where it should have been aces. Rosie takes that one out of the middle. It's going up against Phil and bangs it past him.
Good aggressive swing there from Rosie. Now, I'm not sure what it says about me and my personality that I find Trevor so likable.
It depends how you take it. If you take it personally, you're gonna hate him. But if you understand that he just enjoys the competition, he's very competitive, and he talks more trash to me than probably anyone in the world, and I've never taken it personally. But I'm close with him, and I grew up with him, so I don't even, half the time I don't hear what Trevor's saying. He's talking so much.
You are close with him, but all the while encouraging people to hashtag never Trevor?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, all right.
That's how much we embrace talking trash to each other.
Yeah.
We're switching sides, and it is officially crunch time. In set number one,
It's a great shot, wrist away there from Rosie.
How you guys like in set number one? Oh yeah, quick start for
Great
Phil
play,
and
bud.
Nick, but Rosie being
It's a great little replay there. Watch how high up Rosie's
18-17.
getting. 37 years old, years young. About 2 feet out, and we're tied back up. This is huge right here. Game to 3. Phil Dalhausser on the line. Manhattan Beach Open. This is a big serve receive here, and they go at the younger Trevor Crabb. He handles it well. Goes over Phil. Phil tries to swat it, but it lands on his side. That's a big moment there for Trevor Crabb, showing his composure in a big moment. Not scared to use that high line that's gotten swatted back at him a few times here today. Now he goes back at Nick. Oh, Rosie wanted that. That was a great hit by Phil.
Great pass from Nick, too, to give his big partner the option, right? Remind me, I've got a question for you about blocking when we reach the end of this set.
Got it. Here we go, Nick going with the float. He's gonna go short to Rosie this time. Try to bring Rosie right into Phil, and they bite on it. Phil gets the touch, but Trevor's gonna get a chance in transition. Trevor Crabb slamming it down, angle in front of Nick Lucena to give them set point in the first set.
Trevor and Sean.
Trevor Crabb looking for his first victory ever of his career, and it could be the Manhattan Beach Open. It would be the 4th victory for Sean Rosenthal with his 4th different partner in this particular tournament.
Okay, so while we got a break in the action, when you're blocking, we just saw Phil narrowly miss swatting that shot back from Rosie. What are the cues you're looking for from the attacker as to whether or not they're shooting, whether they're hitting or whether they're shooting?
Well, it's just a slow down of their arm swing, and there's a lot of small cues, and some people do it better than others, but they won't load their arm quite as far back sometimes, so you can tell they're either going to have to do a quick arm swing or they're going to have to go nice and high with it, as we see Rosie's Raiders. But what I saw there is that Phil read it. He saw that Trevor was going off speed, but he kind of went one-handed. He went up with 2 and then reached with 1, and that kind of caused him to get tooled off to the side. But what did we see within the first 3-4 points of the game was Phil throwing it back, grabbing it with his fingertips and kind of throwing it straight down, staying more squared. I think he would have got that block if he stayed squared up. Instead, he reached with 1, and that's why he got tooled.
So you're looking for slow down of the arm, slow down of the approach.
Yes, the approach. There's so many different levels where you can recognize it. The best players come in strong every time. So you really got to keep your head up. A lot of blockers want to put their head down. But I'm looking for any little cue where you're slowing down, and I'm just going to commit to that high line shot.
So you're going to delay your jump a little bit to look for the shot in that instance. Okay.
Exactly.
Set point, Trevor and Rosie.
Going at Phil, bold strategy. And that's why it's tough. Because when he gets that nice high set against the 6'5" Trevor Crabb, there's almost nothing Trevor can do here. He'd have to cut the ball off on the way down because Phil's so much higher. Been in that position before. And
constant chatter from the Raiders, who fortunately for them have been released from their parole officers for the finals today.
Trevor again sneaking it. Gonna get another shot here against Phil. This one's off the net. It's gonna be tough to put away. Really not lucky, but skilled and huge and clutch play by Phil Dalhausser. Trevor snuck it by him, right down his body, down the net, and somehow he popped it up. Watch this. This is ridiculous. That is for the set, or to get set point back. And now he's on the line. Going at Trevor Crabb, 28-year-old out of Honolulu, Hawaii. Tough set. Rosie's going to keep it alive. There's a back set by Crabb, and Rosie puts it in, and they're still alive. 21 all. First set. Gotta love the battle here going on.
Great save there from Rosie. Just incredible savvy on defense to know where that ball is going, even off the left-handed swing of Phil Dalhausser. A couple uncharacteristic sort of miscommunications from them the last 2 plays, but they did a great job to save it there and still keep themselves in this set.
Huge dig there by Rosie when Phil's going over with his left there. Going at Nick. Rosie makes the read down the line. Nick hits it right at him, and Rosie puts it away from the left. Wow. Set point for Crabb and Rosenthal. What a battle.
You know what's important when you see Rosie nodding his head and chattering a little bit, right? Usually about as calm and as collected as they come. He's feeling it today.
Oh, unfortunate play there. Way to put it away by Phil Dalhausser, but that was almost a huge error pass by Nick Lucena. Somehow the long reach of Phil Dalhausser got it there. This thing was almost going over. Trevor would have passed it, but Phil caught it right before it crossed the plane, so it was a legal attack.
File that under you can't teach height, right?
Yeah. Trevor coming middle. Nice swing. They brought him in short there, and I thought Trevor was going to come in with just a straight ahead approach, but he came in with a little quicker set and a little to the inside. Phil didn't move into it. Watch it come inside a little. Leaves Phil on the outside. Opens up a lot of court. Really good play by Trevor. Set point, Crabb and Rosenthal. Rosie looking to get on the pier for the 4th time. Oh.
Wow. A little extra pop there from Nick Lucena.
Tagging Rosie, leaving him with a little Wilson tattoo. But what a read by Rosie as well, getting into the right spot, just couldn't square his body up.
You think Nick had that much heat before he put those rapid force spiderweb deals on the back of his shoulder? Or?
It's got to be the rapid force. Oh, wow. Getting tricky, busting out all the moves. That was beyond wrist away. It was like a little tricep push back to the short line.
The rotator cuff stretcher.
So confident. Look at that one. And Phil Dalhausser, one of the best setters in the world,
That will
getting
delight the
called
Raiders
on
right
set
there.
point. And the Raiders go wild. Trevor Crabb is fired up.
The
And
Raiders
these
with their
boys-
appropriately dirty and tattered flag.
The pirate flag.
Nothing could symbolize that group better than that flag.
Yeah, we're dancing. It is time for the 5-5-5 dance cam, ladies and gentlemen.
What a great first set
And if you see
that
us up on the
was.
screen, you're going to want to dance.
So cool.
We're giving away
Now it's
4
DJ
grand
Roche's
prizes
turn to
from
perform.
Five to our
These
4
fans are
best
so
dancers.
fortunate to watch such a good match. Such a nice day, and the party started, people.
Just on the subject of DJ Roche, I mean, we've all heard how Mike Tirico gave it up to DJ Roche in the Olympics, called him the MVP of the beach volleyball tournament. And he's certainly been that here all Sunday today. He was going crazy leading up to this
You are in
match.
the lead, sir.
And we got treated to an excellent first set as a result.
It's kind of the nature of beach volleyball these days. It's just in between points, it's like a party for the fans. And then during points, they get to watch some of the best athletes in the world.
Yeah, it's almost like we all came to an EDM festival and an awesome volleyball match broke out.
Best of both worlds.
Not super weird, though.
How would you rate your dance game?
Oh, it's getting weaker and weaker. I haven't practiced in a while. Back in college, I think I could bust it out, but I just need to practice a little. Get back on the world tour where they have those
The player
huge
parties?
player parties.
If I was to give you a scale of 0 to Casey Patterson, where would you rate yourself?
Right now, I'm a 6 or 7 maybe.
6.
But my potential is like 8 or 9.
Potential
and
is
I
8
can
or
turn
9.
that around within a week. I just got to bring it back.
Okay. You just need a week to get your game tight?
I've thought, yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Okay.
I've been out with injury. Here we go. Sean Rosenthal, second set. First one, 25-23 in overtime. Rosie coming to the middle. Bouncing it cross body on his ex-partner, Phil Dalhausser.
Nasty.
Superman.
We all know Rosie's can hammer the crossbody, as we've all seen the Vegas line, and years and years and years of him showcasing that swing.
I hope you guys can hear these heckles coming from the Raiders. Oh. Tough play from Trevor. He has no vision with that thing coming over his head, and you hope that he expects to see Phil Dalhausser there, but I don't think he did.
I don't know if anybody in the game is better at that particular play than Phil Dalhausser, just sealing up the net, taking care of all the sort of garbage, we would call that, the tight plays.
As Nick Lucena misses the ace by about half an inch on the back line. Good eye by Sean Rosenthal. He must have been playing this game for a while.
Yeah, Rosie called that way out. Way out.
He's seen it all in his 20-year career. Rosie scooping it and delivering.
Wow.
Not even the perfect set that he wanted, but Superman, the son of Jarrell, is here to entertain.
So we've seen the hip pocket scoop. We call that the fanny pack right in front.
Fanny pack, exactly. Here we go, Nick. Looking to slow down the momentum. Wow, just the fact that Rosie was within a foot or two of that shows me he's back to being Sean Rosenthal, which he has been for a while now. But you know that Nick feels that. He thinks he has a perfect shot and Rosie's close.
Just that miss by Rosie right there made me super depressed because I just realized he can crawl in the sand faster than I can run.
At least it's Sean Rosenthal, and that's why his nickname's Superman. Trevor making it look easy. Sean Rosenthal, local boy, local legend, back to serve. Going cross-body to Nick's line. Nick handles it easy. Nice kind of off-speed swing to the corner.
Yeah, it takes precision to kill the ball against either of these teams today. We're seeing Rosie scooping all kinds of stuff. Nick the Quick, obviously given that name for his incredible speed around the court as well. So we're gonna have to see some good shots if guys expect to kill the ball out here today.
Tight set, and Rosie handles. When I say tight set, my mind goes to, here we go, Phil's gonna take this ball. So far this match, it's Rosie stepping up in those moments.
So good at getting his feet to the ball and elevating so that he's not kind of overly extended.
Ooh, good clean shot there. You notice Nick has to put it within 1 foot of the line or else Sean's covering that ground. But that's kind of the elite game, right? Everyone's using the entire court. You'll see a lot of balls dropping on the sidelines, on the back line. And that's what it takes to get it done. I hope you heard that heckle. As the guy that was back to serve puts it down. Can we repeat these heckles?
I'm not sure. I certainly hope those are audible to.
Oh, we're on the internet.
Yeah, so if the Raiders were commentating this match, they would have said D-bag with the left-handed kill there. We're going to go ahead and call him Phil, the Beijing Beast.
Oh, that one goes deep. That's an error by Trevor Crabb. And we're tied up.
What's your stance on heckling? I feel like there are people who think that it is good all the way across the board. I would argue that trying to do anything to Phil is going to be detrimental ultimately, as you're going to fire him up and heighten his focus perhaps.
Yeah, when you're playing any elite athlete, I think that one's in. Nice swing by Trevor Crabb, cross body. Any elite athlete's going to step up in that moment. You know, if it gets in your head, then, I mean, you're playing into their game. And that's what Rosie's Raiders are here to do. That's not going to affect Phil. No way. It's more of a funny thing that they're doing. Something to laugh about later.
Is it counterproductive, however, though, in that maybe Phil steps up his game as a result?
I think sometimes it is, but it also feeds Rosie's fire. Oh, wow.
That was unbelievable.
Trevor Crabb making an unbelievable save. Rosie making an unbelievable save himself and getting it over, but the refs calls this down. It was about half hand, half sand, and I think it was the right call.
I think it was the right call, too. I can't believe that Rosie got that over the net and in from less than 6 inches off the sand.
That was almost back on SportsCenter right there.
Yeah.
That ball landed in. When we talk about the heckles, I think when it comes to Rosie's Raiders, it feeds the fire of Rosie enough to where it doesn't matter what it does to his opponents. Okay. He's always wanted them to do it. He's never told them to tone it down, I don't think.
Right.
And I think it's kind of good for the sport. Both of these guys kind of have that villain vibe. Rosie's, everyone loves him, but his Raiders kind of bring that villain vibe for him, and Trevor does the talking himself.
And I really admire the Teflon nature of Rosie, that he manages to not get the stink of the Raiders on him, as it were.
Right. Yeah, that's a good point. Rosie at the net. And Nick puts it away as Rosie drops.
It is 8-6 as we switch sides.
8-6, Lucena Dalhausser never going away. They were down. They lost the first set in the semifinal against Brunner and Patterson, against you.
Yeah.
And they came back out just as strong. You have to play an entire match of good volleyball to beat this team. And let's see if Crabb and Rosie can do it. That's not going to be a good start. Phil puts it away in transition. An aired pass.
We would say indoors that it's very, very difficult against high-level teams to win in straight sets, because winning 3 straight sets against any opponent that is of a similar skill and talent level to you is next to impossible. I think the same thing remains true out here on the beach.
Yes, for sure.
That's why we see so many 3-setters and so many kind of 21-19, 25-23 type sets where one real point is literally the difference between winning and losing.
And I mean, the talent out here on the tour right now is ridiculous. We have a different winner every single tournament, and we could have a new one here in Rosie and Trevor.
Beautiful shot down the line. Nick,
nice smooth shot down the line. Good vision by Nick. He can do that one all day. Phil goes back to serve. Rosie's Raiders chirping at him. Last time he was on the line, I heard, Phil, when are you going to fill out? Talking about his slender nature. That might be an ace on someone else, but not for Rosie, as he bounces it with his left hand. I don't know if you can understand how hard that play is. First of all, you're about to get aced, so you just want to get it, keep it in play. Instead, he turns it into a left-handed bounce. Phil Dalhausser lining up on Rosie's right hand, knowing that Rosie, that was ridiculous. He knows Rosie likes that crossbody with his right, so Rosie gives him the crossbody with the left.
Ooh. That might have been Chowder too. I'd like to know if Rosie's twin toddlers crawl ridiculously fast in comparison with other toddlers.
Yeah,
as well.
I don't know.
I mean,
I would put my money on his kids. Coming to the middle, Rosie. Oh, wow. Rosie is feeling it.
That was the double cross.
That is a swag hit. Watch the direction his body faces when he lands. Yeah, he's looking up at us already. Doing a 180, putting it down past the biggest block in the world, and he doesn't have to look if it goes to the sand. And then he's going to get a block against his ex-partner. Sean Rosenthal feeling it. And the crowd is loving it. Rosie's Raiders are going to pillage the town tonight. You hear the Rosie chants.
Rosie has incredible things today and throughout his career.
I feel like the Rosie's Raiders are capable of like a Detroit-style hockey celebration where their team wins and they light the town on fire.
Number 2, beach volleyball, Trevor Crabb, Sean Rosenthal. Rosenthal to serve after a few volleys. Check out Rosenthal, the spectacular play. Crabb over for the point. Let me see it again. Oh, it's unbelievable. Wow, you will not see a better beach volleyball point than that.
That's the play that got them on SportsCenter top 2 plays. And you know, it was the number 2 play. There's still room to get that number 1 play. And if anyone's going to do it, it's Sean Rosenthal. I was there calling that match on the live stream, and man, he just gets me so fired up. Both of these guys, such good energy and great players. You got to love it. If you're getting our sport on ESPN, you're contributing to the growth of the sport through your ability to play.
I feel like we focus on the jumping ability and the speed and all that stuff, but something kind of lost in the athleticism discussion sometimes is the body control. His ability to run right and pirouette all the way around and scoop that ball is unbelievable. And it's up on the 10.
Mark Sherman throwing balls out into the stands. He threw one
Just working
clear
the crowd,
over the
and
stands.
Bushler's got it. Lots of crowd interaction during the timeouts here.
You want free stuff, come down to the AVP.
The bleachers have been at capacity since about 3 minutes into the women's final earlier this morning, and everybody stayed, watched the juniors 10 and under final, which was exciting. And they're here for the men's final, of course.
Big dig by Trevor Crabb, playing defense here. They're in trans. Trevor drops. Rosie digs it with his chest. Trevor, perfect roll set to the net, and Nick's on the run. They're gonna get a chance on two, and Trevor puts it away. Wow, they are maintaining this fire and playing unbelievable ball. Sean Rosenthal leading the way.
We're getting down to very few body parts on Sean Rosenthal that he hasn't used to dig the ball.
Right pocket, fanny pack, and now just the full chest.
There we go, yeah. Baby Bjorn Chester.
Baby Bjorn. Something he's used to with his three kids.
3 kids, he and lovely wife Casey. Making ridiculously adorable, ridiculously athletic children.
Rosie playing with a chip on his shoulder. Going up to the net, Trevor Crabb on D. Big look by Lucena there. Puts it away nicely, knowing that Trevor's not known for being quite as quick in the backcourt. But it is nice that they have the ability to split block, give Trevor maybe a little rest in the legs so he doesn't have to jump serve and go block. Something Phil has to do full time. Wow. That's the different speeds you're bringing at Phil, making Phil work super hard to get up there. And having a partner like Sean who can run a quick back set like that is huge.
To do that on a jump serve as hard as Phil's jump serve is impressive too. A nice display of ball control from Crabb and Rosie.
Rosie digs it up, but he can't keep it on his side. Oh. Big bang by Phil. Finally gets it past Rosie. Rosie looked like he wanted it back. It's almost, you can tell he gets excited. When he sees that someone's gonna tee it off in his direction, he gets extra low and expects to make that spectacular play. Trevor going back again. Phil's there this time, and he errors.
Really the mark of a great defender, and certainly of a defender who's in the zone like Rosie is he's upset that he didn't dig the absolute thunder from Phil, as if that should be expected.
Right.
But he does expect that of himself.
Something you would know as a Olympic gold medalist libero.
Well, I had
For the indoor
huge
national
blockers
team.
in front of me, so I think I just picked up a tip or two here and there.
Yeah.
And
I feel like you had to do a little more than that to get an Olympic gold medal for the indoor national team back in Beijing. But sure, a few pancakes here and there.
yeah, 1 or 2 pancakes.
Trevor poking it off the block. I like their chances here. And Nick's gonna get a shot in transition with no one up.
Phil and Nick on a
Phil and Nick.
4-0 run at 16.
4-0 run right there. They've quietly pulled away. A lot of attention and noise going the way of Rosie and Trevor. The style that they play. The fans being on the side of Sean Rosenthal, of course.
And a timeout by Trevor
But Nick and Phil
Sean.
doing what they do best. Staying steady and playing a high level of volleyball.
It's that Phil factor again, I think. You know, you just,
2017
you feel like you have to be so precise. You feel like you have to be so good if you want to beat him. And sometimes that pressure just mounts and mounts and mounts and can lead to the occasional hitting error that we saw out of Trevor a couple plays ago. And then that dam just starts to break just a little bit Phil and Nick pull ahead here, and we're gonna have to see if Trevor and Rosie can collect themselves and kind of climb back into this. If not, we're gonna see a third and decisive set, which I mean, as fans, we all want to see that, right?
I wouldn't be too mad about watching that one.
We got announcer Mark Sherman over there hobnobbing with the Raiders. I'm curious to see if he makes it back here with his gold lame jacket or if he gets relieved of that.
They didn't bring any jackets our way this final day of the MBO. Everyone on staff decided to wear their jackets. I stole one the first day and was feeling pretty good about it. Of course, this is the Manhattan Beach Open, the second event of the Gold Series. One of 3 events with bigger prize money, $225,000 on the line this week. And of course, the 3 events are New York, LA, which is here Manhattan Beach, and Chicago, which is the last event of the year. And I think we're loving it. I love the Gold Series coming about. A little more pressure, a little more prestige on these few events. Rosie rolling that set back in the middle. Trevor, that was right on the bungee cord of the line, but like so close to touching the buckle. That is the closest it can possibly get. We're looking down on the mark, and it's almost touching the ring, the metal ring on the corner. Going short to Trevor. Nick trying to squeeze it down the line. A really tough swing to make there after laying out on that line. Phil gave him a nice high set, give him time to get his feet there, but from off the net, really hard to be accurate. Trevor Crabb back to serve, going deep to Lucena. Trevor looking like he's doing a delayed block, trying to look for the shot. Nick brought it down in the low seam, and Trevor wasn't squared up, didn't have his hands there quick enough.
I feel like sometimes if you watch Nick, it looks like he's not particularly trying very hard, but he kind of can lull you to sleep with that look because clearly he is trying hard, and he mixes up speed so well offensively that it's so hard as a blocker, don't you think?
He's one of those guys that might even come in slow to make you think he's going to shoot, and then you wait on him, wait on that shot, and he'll speed up his arm. Or he'll come in super hard, make you get up early on that hit, and then he'll float and give you an off speed. Rosie putting it away.
The Raiders have something to say on every contact, not just every play.
Did I hear dirty hands?
Through the hands, I think he said.
Oh, through the hands. while Phil was trying to set.
While Phil was setting, yeah.
Here we go, Rosie, jump serve, cross body, swing to Lucena. This one's tight, and Trevor Crabb gets on it.
Trevor Crabb.
That's a tough one. That's a kind of cat and mouse. Nick came in a few times with a hard approach and went soft. Trevor didn't stop biting on it. It was a tight set. He was going to seal that low seam. Nick goes for it. Bounce block by Trevor Crabb.
What a great block from Trevor there. Really shoved those hands over the net at the right time, didn't he?
16-18. If they completed this comeback, this could be one of the best celebrations we have ever seen for this event. And I would be surprised if there wasn't about 25 Rosie's Raiders tackling them. Not to get you guys' hopes up, they are playing the best team in the world, arguably, in Phil Dalhausser and Nick Lucena, but that would be entertaining.
Would be a wonderful mixture of elation and carnage.
Yeah. The bar right up the street, Shellbacks, I don't know if it can handle what would happen.
The good news is I think a decent percentage of the Raiders have to wear those alcohol detecting ankle bracelets. So that alleviates some of the pressure on Shellbacks.
There we go, 16-18. Dalhausser Lucena in the lead. Perfect day in Manhattan Beach. Here we go, Rosie reading that seam swing by Nick Lucena and putting the crossbody shot away. So fired up about it.
17.
This is
18,
that laser focus we're seeing from this team. They believe they can put it away in 2.
That's a great example of something you were talking about earlier with the blocking and what kind of cues does an offensive player give away. Rosie, best in the business at coming in hard, even when he's shooting like we saw there. I mean, that approach was hard, aggressive.
Rosie with another dig on Lucena. Trevor Crabb drops. Nice turn down the line by Nick Lucena. Really smooth, tough shot to make. One of the hardest balls to dig when you're dropping off the net, but also an easy one to error on. Trevor Crabb gives him the low line, and Nick takes it, and they really needed that point. Could have been tied up at 18 easily right there. Trevor taking the ball out of the middle and going back. Nick delivers a dig, and that ball's tight over the net. And Lucena's in the net. Trevor put it down anyway, 18-19. First set was 25-23. That's how good of a match this has been. Lucena and Dalhausser looking to push it to 3. Nick knew he was gonna net there. He's sprinting from off the net to get there. You really have to get your feet all the way to the net and jump straight up and down, which is really hard to do.
You got to appreciate the sportsmanship of sorts there too. Nick, knowing he was going to net, made sure that he didn't injure his opponent.
Yeah, when
Trevor
you're both
Crabb.
jumping and landing, your knees can kind of hit, or you can obviously sprain each other's ankles easily. Tough error there by Trevor Crabb. I think being in that situation before, sometimes you get a little excited and you're not too worried about your serve. You just want to keep it in play and go play that point. But you gotta have intention behind it, or else sometimes you make the error like that. Big Phil Dalhausser on the line. Oh, and Trevor with 2 errors to end the set. That's kind of the only time we saw a little drop-off in someone making maybe 2 errors in a row that wasn't necessarily caused by you know, the other team, and not by a block or something like that. Well, one of them was a service in the net, I suppose, but we'll see how those boys come out. It'll be interesting to see the strategy change up, the fire, the energy. This is anyone's game right now. I don't think there's momentum in either team's favor right now. Dead neutral, game to 15 for the thing that everybody wants most, a plaque on the pier.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think the player to watch in this third set is Trevor, right? He's looking for his first win. We saw him be shaky by his standards anyways at a couple moments in that second set. Let's see how he can respond coming out in this third.
Yeah. You haven't been here unless you've been here.
Yeah.
And now he's here, but he hasn't been to a third set before. And things should get interesting.
There's one thing that is without question, and that is that DJ Rouchet is going to have the crowd frothing for this third set. He's getting them going right now as we wait for the players to come back out. They're cooling the sand off with a little hose down.
A little hose down for Hosey.
The hose down for Hosey. Josinho, we like to call him.
Over in Brazil, they don't pronounce the R's very well, so Rosie is Hosey.
And it would be nice to see them get their first title as a team, get their name on the pier, and hose each other down and all the Raiders with champagne. in celebration.
Or Phil Dalhausser collects another one.
Or Phil will get, yeah.
Just owning it.
How long until the entire pier is just comprised of Phil's name?
You can almost go all the way up the pier by just hopping from his name to his name.
That'd be an interesting game, Dalhausser hopscotch. There's quite a few legends of the game that you can do that with, right? You got Smith and Stokey, you got Javi Dodd. Big birthday shout out to MD, Mike Dodd, number 60 today, they said. He's in attendance.
Sitting courtside.
Yeah, he coached Rosie and Phil when they played together. Coached Rosie and Jake Gibb in the Olympics when they played together. Obviously one of the all-time legends of the game and one of the coolest customers around. The Biz.
The boys are back on the sand. The crowd is on their feet, and the party has
Announcer
just
Mark
begun.
Sherman is so into it, he doesn't even have a voice anymore. They got a mic on him just so you can hear anything. The guy screamed his voice completely away. Gotta love him for it. Crowd's so into it, we can barely see.
Yeah, they're all standing up in front of us.
For the open, let's go.
Rosie taking the first one, coming all the way to the left side and burying it down the line. I love that. I love the movement of the set there. It changes his angles. Now his cross-body angle swing is a cross-body line swing. And that one's alive. Somehow, Nick the Quick keeping it alive. Trevor coming in the middle. And off the block of Dalhausser, off the hands of Lucena, 2-0.
Trevor and Rosie will certainly take a few of those, huh?
That's the quick start they wanted. I mean, that's an ace on any other player in the world. Somehow Nick got that ball in play, and Trevor and Rosie finished. Big old swing. Little different angles when you're digging a guy like that. You almost have to step up.
Different trajectory, different pace.
Yeah.
I would say, if I'm being super nitpicky, that's a couple service mistakes early. Going to Phil, they're probably not what Trevor and Rosie wanted to do. Phil and Nick starting off by going to Rosie, probably not what they were looking to do either.
Phil goes to Trevor there. And Trevor rips one cross court as it bounces into the stands. He ain't letting up. Nope. Third set. We're getting deeper into the third set, and Trevor's still banging away.
Trevor is an incredibly high-level athlete. He knows nothing is won by getting soft.
There's another tough play. You almost want to say, you know, the strategy for Rosie and Trevor has been to bring it on their serve. If you start letting Nick give Phil Dalhausser options, even if he doesn't take it, having to step over in front Dalhausser and then go block Lucena is hard enough in itself. And of course, Phil's probably going to take that opportunity most of the times. Great play by Trevor. Love how they're moving it around here. Constantly moving their set. Basically just running away from Phil and making Phil move his feet and see if he can still get that big block up, which he can. It's not the same block when he's having to cover 10 feet, 15 feet laterally. Here we go, they're going at Phil. Oh, Rosie, same thing. It dropped in front of him. Like to see if they do it again. If Rosie maybe steps up on that.
He may. I mean, he gets down low better than anybody, and he just barely missed that one. But we may see him step in and use another part of his body to just scoop a ball.
So Dalhausser serving up the middle. This is off the net. It's going to be tough to put away. Lucena gets the dig. This one's tight. And Nick gets on it quick. There's that footwork. His footwork has to be so good to get all the way to the net, not broad jump, go straight up and get on it before Trevor can touch it.
Especially
Really
on
nice
the right
play.
side, right, where it's got to cross over your left shoulder.
Right, and you can't let it drop too much either. Went and picked it off at a high point. This is a dangerous position for Phil Dalhausser to be in. He's so deadly from the line, especially in these clutch situations. Trevor and Rosie get him off the line very quick. Highly recommended. And we got 1 point until the side switch.
It'll be Trevor back at the line to serve at 5-4.
It's hard to really illustrate how difficult of a play that is that we just watched. Trevor not only has to deal with Phil's jump serve, but he does so well enough that his partner can swing on too. And Rosie's got to take a high spinny ball across his body and swing at it. Just so good.
That's an overpass. Huge opportunity. And a huge error there by Nick Lucena.
6-4 for Rosie.
Maybe trying to push the option to his partner, huh?
I think he was forcing the option there. And Trevor ready to execute on that. A ball you need to take care of 99% of the time, and he does. 6-4 in the third. Manhattan Beach Open on the line. Trevor Crabb serving at Nick Lucena. Nice clean high line by Nick.
Curious if we're watching kind of the setup game going here. Because Rosie, the last couple times, has just sort of committed to that hard angle. And Nick just slapped it over the top. I wonder if...
Oh, that's tough.
Came out a little crooked, looked like, maybe.
It was a quick set, and he didn't really square up well either. If it's going to come out ugly, you want to make sure that you're squared up. And that's hard to argue. Rosie will get the ref's opinion, but see how it's a side set? And it spun a little bit. If he were squared up and the ref can see it come out of both hands at the same time, I think he lets that spin go. But because he went sideways, it kind of easy for the ref to call a double there.
Yeah, and oftentimes, correctly or incorrectly, guys are sort of held to their own standard, right? They're victims of their own previous success. Rosie, one of the best hand setters around, so.
Oh. That's a clutch play. First of all, Trevor able to pick up the nice discipline by Phil Dalhausser's block there, but Trevor able to pick up the trickler off the tape. Here we go, Rosie out of the middle. That one's tight, tough to deal with. Great play going up and over the huge block of Phil Dalhausser.
I'm impressed his wrist could rotate that far.
Rosie with the dig and trans. Huge opportunity to take the lead, and he does. Sean Rosenthal just so good.
We switch sides at 8-7.
Just seeing flip-flopping momentum all over the place here. Rosie and Trevor up 6-4. Down 7-6. Now up 8-7. Set number 3. For all the marbles, Glaze Creek, all of them.
8-7, this is huge. Exactly what the fans want to see. There you see Superman back to serve. Perfect weather. There's that on 2 ball they were looking for as they tie it up at 8. Halfway through the third, we're tied up.
Phil does a really nice job on that, of hitting the direct middle of the court a lot. Generally, the defense is going to almost crisscross, right? Take one side or the other. And he just goes right up the gut. Did it a lot in the semifinals as well.
Here's Phil on the line. This is when he gets deadly. Goes to Trevor. And there's a huge dig by Nick to take the lead. Sets off the net, but he puts it away. Both guys there to dig it. No one there to set it.
What a swing from Lucena.
Dangerous time for Crabb and Rosenthal to give up the lead. With Phil Dalhausser back on the line. A man who has been in these situations many times before. In fact, he has over 50 wins. 51, I believe. And he serves in the net.
That's an exhale.
Yeah.
I think I heard the exhale from up here.
I'm surprised he didn't go for that one a little more. It looked like he was kind of just trying to place it. I respect him trusting his defense, but Phil Dalhausser of the old day, I think, would go for that. That's the time where he's busting out aces. Rosie's there. Wow, good aggressive block by Trevor. But Phil puts it high and hard off and out.
I think if Trevor would have gotten the Kong block on Phil Dalhausser right there, this crowd might have built a roof just so they could tear it off of this place.
That would have been huge. It was pretty necessary that Trevor went up with one hand there. I don't think he'd get that height if he went with two. Here we go, Lucena going at Trevor. Same strategy they started with, going short to him. Rosie with the pokey cover. Nick digs him up. On two, and Rosie wasn't ready at the net. 11-9, a 2-point lead. Phil and Nick slowly building a small lead. But when you're playing to 15, your lead is never safe.
It's almost crazy to even say this out loud, but almost quietly, Nick's been making some ridiculous plays defensively, right?
Those plays where Rosie was sitting in the pocket and getting those digs, now Nick's getting those. And I think that's kind of been the difference. Oh no, a huge error by Rosie. Trevor and Sean have to take a timeout. There you see the frustration from Sean, knowing he's the leader of the team and he can't be making those errors in that moment. You either got to put, if you're going to take that option and not set your partner, you got to put that one away. And Rosie knows that. He takes responsibility for it, and time to move on and forget about it.
It's kind of interesting to me, just tactically, what we've seen from Phil and Nick. We saw them do the short serve to Trevor to start the match off. They kind of went away from it for a while, right? And then they've come back to it at the critical moment here in this third set. And to great success. They've got now a 3-point lead as a result of specifically that play.
Yeah, Nick and Phil are going to be a team that's going to have a little more strategy going into this kind of match, whereas Rosie and Trevor are just instinctual players, not making too many adjustments before the play. I think they kind of come into it with options and are able to adjust mid-play. But that strategy of going back, understanding that it worked early, they went away from it. Trevor hasn't seen it in a while, and now you're going to go back to the strategy in this huge moment and make Trevor side out again in a really challenging situation. I think that's what they're thinking, and it worked. They got a 3-point lead, playing to 15, and this would be a massive comeback.
Yeah.
3 points.
That's kind of an interesting battle from a coaching perspective, too, because you got Jay Lockhead, the coach of Nick and Phil, who's one of the smartest volleyball minds around, I think, in the beach, particularly in the beach game that we have, even though, you know, I say we because he's in the States now and working with our guys. He's from New Zealand, of course. And then you have Alzina, Jeff Alzina on Trevor and Rosie's bench, who's also probably got more experience than anyone in the game. Knew well enough to just let the instinct of his guys go in this. We'll see what happens late.
Here we go. This is huge. This is a big point, and it's in. Nick Lucena somehow putting that away. It's about as much emotion as you'll see out of Phil Dalhausser, knowing how big that swing was there. And he tagged the line. 13-9 on Phil Dalhausser. Rosie's exchanging some words at the net, a few smiles. I would love to hear what Rosie's telling Phil right now. Maybe look out for your glasses. Rosie will swing away in these moments. And Phil gets a block. Somehow, some way, we were tied at 8. And this team, who has already won 4 events this year, internationally and domestically, or maybe 5, have match point.
And
they're going to have
too.
5 chances. We do have a point freeze, so Trevor and Rosie just have to side out, and they cannot lose if they side out every time. Trevor's alive. Trevor and Rosie will live to play another point. So now you have to be serving. Side out scoring. You have to be serving to get a point. It's all about defense here. Trevor and Rosie have to manufacture something and then go back and side out every single time in order to finish this huge comeback.
Hold on to that.
There's a good play right there. Phil getting up huge and going over Trevor. Such a tough play. Wow. Just continuing to make spectacular plays, though. Fighting to the very last point. Rosie and Crabb. Look at this. Sending it to the corner, but Phil with a full runway and Trevor having to get up fully gassed.
Since you
That's
took the
tough.
season off, is there anybody better on the sand than Trevor Crabb at coming down from the block and reacting to the quick dig?
No, I mean, you see it there. I mean, you saw it on that ESPN top 2 play. Just perfect instincts. I'd say he's one of the top guys to do it for sure. As Phil serves it in the net.
Until you come back.
Until I come back,
Yeah.
of course. I can never give Trevor too much credit for anything. He might listen to this later. Don't set me up like that.
I love it. That's why I excused you, for this year.
There's Nick. That thing's drifting a little. Who's in the net? Nick Lucena's in the net. So there is a little wind that has picked up throughout this match here. I don't know if you guys can see the flags flying, but I saw that set go up and drift after Nick had already jumped into the net, which kind of carried his body into the net as well, because he was tracking the ball.
Trevor and Rosie on the better of the 2 sides, it looks like.
Rosie with the dig, looking to get a real one. And he gets blocked by Phil. That right there is, Phil knows that swing from Rosie so well. And I think Rosie gets a little excited and wants to bounce that ball, takes his chances. But when you do that, it's you risk Phil making the smart play. Trevor going to the right side for the match, and it's over. Phil is back on the pier. Nick Lucena on the pier for the 2nd time in his career. And as you can see by their celebration, it's something that they expected to happen.
Well, they expect, I really appreciate the sportsmanship and the respect that all 4 competitors have for one another by not just losing their mind. You know, we might have seen something different out of Trevor and Rosie had they won. But now they'll go celebrate a little more properly with their friends and family in the corner back there.
Family guys, both of them have 2 children.